Hi there, and good morning to you. I've come to Wiang Kum Kam this morning, and I'm finally, hopefully, going to complete this damn video. I'm using the word damn because I am so frustrated. This isn't going to be Jonathan Pye takeoff, but you know, it's going to be something quite aggressive at first, I think, because I'm so frustrated. I have come to the end of my tether. If you can imagine, you know, you've got a series of videos talking about individual temples, and you've got a lot of detail, and you can actually relate to something. You can put it in context. You can look at something and say that is, and you can then say, okay, I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to point you at it, and you're going to be interested in looking at it. And what I'm saying about it is actually, you know, visible, and you can relate to it. It's contextual. But what I've come up against is this bloody brick wall, and I've come to Wiang Kum Kam this morning, nowhere near the temple I want to talk about because it's actually quite oppressive now. I've got to this brick wall which is saying to me, you're trying to do something that is too much. You're trying to relate things that aren't contextual. You can't point at it. You're talking about it, and people are going to say, well, yeah, but it's boring. It's, you know, what are you actually showing us? And I'm really having trouble. Let me get a stick. I've got all of these things that I can show you. And I can talk about all of these temples, and I can say this temple's this temple's this temple's this, and so on. And I can say, oh, there's a book reference to this, and you can go away and have a look at a book, and you know, this thing is leaning off to the side, and it's quite big, and it's quite small, and it's old, and yeah, very interesting. But what I want to talk about is something that is quite ethereal. It's all over the place. It's up there in the sky. It's nothing to do with what you're looking at and seeing in front of you. So what I'm really stuck with here is that I want to talk about a book which is the Chiang Mai Chronicles that look at the manuscripts from hundreds of years ago that talk about interesting stories all about King Mengrai and this temple which started out as Wat Nam Thuam. It then went on to be Wat Chang Kam, and then it's ended up as Wat Chang Kam. Now, the fact that it's got three names is confusing enough for some people, but the fact that it's got a fantastic history and there's lots of details about how, you know, these monks came along, they give relics of the Buddha, and there's a Saphan tree and a Bodhi tree, and there's all these interesting little facts about King Mengrai going off to war and coming back, and there's goldsmiths, silversmiths, bronzesmiths, and where he distributed these people and how much money he gave and what things he did. Absolutely fabulously fantastic. I am so pleased to have read this. But how do I relate that to you? How can I tell you about these things and show you them? Well, there's one way. I could tell you a little bit, and by telling you a little bit about it, maybe it will interest you to go off and do your own research. Maybe I can show you a little bit of something that is contextual. You can actually point at it and look at it and see it. Maybe there's something I can actually, you know, anchor my words to. I've had terrible trouble. I've had nightmares. I tell you, I've become a different person because it's got me up to here. So what I'm going to do, this last week, it feels like the last year. It has. I've been coming down to Wiang Kum Kam, which is only, what, 4 or 5 kilometres from my home, and trying to record bits and pieces of this video to get it out, and I failed. But along the way, I've been to the visitor centre for, I think, about the third or fourth time. And I want to show you a clip, or parts of the clip. It's a 6-minute long video that you look at when you enter into the visitor centre in the information centre of Wiang Kum Kam. And this video, it tells you a story. There is lots of spoken words which are sometimes a little bit difficult to understand. And it tells the story of King Mengrai.
In the year 1239, this story begins. The future king, King Mengrai, was born as the prince in the kingdom of Hiranakon. His birthday was on a Sunday of the 9th waning moon of the first month of the year of the pig. In the Thai Minor Era, 601, he was the son of Meng, the king of Hiranakon, who was the direct descendant His mother was Queen Meng. She was also known as Nam Kam, the daughter of Kao Gancha, who was the ruler of Chiang State. The founder of the Vattakuli dynasty was King Mengrai. Legend tells the story that he descended from heaven on a silver staircase, along with his queen and a great entourage, and he came to rule over the Milaku, or the Lua tribal people, who themselves had settled in the mountainous area of Thom. In the year 1261, when he was just 21 years old, King Mengrai ascended the throne. He became the king of Lanna Kingdom and ruled the kingdom following his father. By 1281, he even conquered the great city of or Lampu, the great center of trade and religion of that period, and he personally resided in the city of for a certain period of time. But due to the limited size of the territory, he decided to move the capital city to a new location, and so in 1286 he built a new capital and called it Wiang Kum Kam, which was located on the alluvium plain on the south side of Big River. The city was built with a well laid out plan for the many households and temples. With its great intelligence, gracious benevolence toward the kingdom and subjects he ruled. By his efforts and dedication in accomplishing his kingly tasks, King Mengrai, the founder of Lanna Kingdom, produced a realm that was exceptionally peaceful, stable, and prosperous in his time.
Well, another time I came here, I paid 300 baht to the lady at the desk and got on to the back of a cart being towed by a lovely little pony. The pony's name was Tucson and the driver's name was Kundamrong, and he was a friendly chap. I said to him, I just want to drive around. I don't want to stop and take photos because I understand all of that and it's very kind of you to explain it to me, but I just want to drive around and take videos. Well, the guy was just whipping this horse with his reins, he was like, come on, come on, come on, and that I couldn't show that in the video. It was really heart-wrenching when I was editing, thinking, oh no, it looks so horrible. And I thought, well, there's another failure. Well, then I went to another place and I was starting to take this video and I thought, yeah, this is working well. And my mind was, taken off by people walking around and, people saying things. And then you got the bird scaring and that was really doing my head in. And I'm thinking, what do I do here? And each time I tried, it was just like brick wall, brick wall, brick wall. So, unlike other video makers, videographers, for instance, there's a fantastic videographer. His name is Glenn Willett, Willets World. His channel, his YouTube channel is undersubscribed, it really is. He does fantastic work of videoing things around the world, wherever he goes. But he's done some fantastic things here in Chiang Mai. His style is really, really good, and I envy his ability to actually bring stuff to camera in a factual way, without too many ums and ahs and, dithering over something and just getting to the point. And that's my biggest issue, as I've already told you. But I'll leave a link in the description below. Please check his channel out. He was very kind to pass my channel on to some of his viewership. So I really respect that. Thank you very much, Glenn. But anyway, I'm getting back to the story here. I quickly want to tell you some detail, and I hope by this time I've not lost you and you're going to stick with me, because out of the 5 stories 2 weeks ago I wanted to tell you, I've cut that down to 1 story, and I've thought, well, I'll try and put some of the details in the description below if YouTube allows me to put as much of that writing in as possible, and I'll just tell you this brief story. I'll try and run through it as quickly as possible so it doesn't sound so boring. But in the previous video about the Wat Chang Kam, or Wat Chang Kam, I told you the story about the Saphan tree, and it had a Sok Sawat, this ethereal spirit, tree spirit, in this Saphan tree, and all the people love this tree, they worshipped it. And when King Mengrai came here and to make the Wiang, to fortify the old town and to become his administrative city, the tree died. Monks were there and the monks gave him certain suggestions and blah blah. I've told you all that. The stories that I have found both in Gary Harbottle Johnson's book about this temple, and they in turn relate back to the Chiang Mai Chronicle and therefore back to the manuscripts, talks about this tree and the Sok Sawat and the tree dying, and these monks, these 5 monks being here. Well, in another event that's from these manuscripts in the Chronicle, Chiang Mai Chronicle book, and once again link in description, the monks brought 2 relics of Lord Buddha. They presented them to King Mengrai at Wiang Kum Kam, and he doubted them at first. And he said, if these are real relics of the Lord, then I will know. He ceremoniously bathed them in scented water, and immediately there were 3 bright lights, a white, a yellow and a green, shone from these relics. He was over the moon. He was pleased. He now had 2 relics of Lord Buddha. Now, as we know in other videos you've no doubt watched, and stories and tales and talking to your mate that's told you all about this, these relics exist all over the world of Lord Buddha, and there's hairs, there's bones, there's teeth and all sorts of things enshrined in statues, in chedis. Well, the monk said that he should enshrine one of these pieces of Lord Buddha into an effigy, a statue here at Wiang Kum Kam, and at Wat Chang Kam. You recall from the story that I've told or not earlier on about the statue, the wooden statues that Kum Kam Thom had created. Lifelike in size to King Mengrai, King Mengrai in turn enshrined this relic in that statue, and you can see today the chedi that is built just behind the main body of the ruin of what we know as Wat Chang Kam, the brickwork that you can see there that is often submerged and water laying around it. At the back there's this chedi, and there stood this statue of Buddha, and in that was a relic of Lord Buddha. Happy, King Mengrai sent the monks off to Sri Lanka with 500 gold pieces and said, please venerate the Bodhi tree and, pay homage, say thanks. The monks went to Sri Lanka and they venerated. Their alms bowl was filled with seeds dropping from the Bodhi tree. These seeds grew into saplings, and they brought 4 saplings to Wiang Kum Kam. Well, King Mengrai took these saplings, these 4 saplings, and he distributed them. One he sent to his mother, and in the chronicles it says that the place is not known where his mother was. The second one, it's apparently a rest house near to the Yang Grove up in Phang. The third one he sent to people who have been to Chiang Mai, may have been to Wiang Takan. And if you've not been there, once you've come to Chiang Mai, go to Sampatong. And in Sampatong, coming from Chiang Mai, turn left and you'll find a previously fortified city. Much of it looks like Wiang Kum Kam, with you see the odd stupa, the brick walls and the mounds and that sort of thing, but much of it's gone, it's lost, because it has just been left to, it's dilapidated. The fourth one, King Mengrai asked his wife to plant it at this temple, Wat Chang Kam. and plant it in place of the Saphan. So in the previous video I talked all about the Saphan tree dying. Well, now you've got this new tree being planted. Amazingly, the city was alight that night with bright lights. Wow, what a fantastic end to a cycle, a circle of events. They made arrangements, necessities for people throughout the Lanna Kingdom to pay homage to the temple and to the city of Wiang Kum Kam by making lands for the growth of rice and crops to actually help the city here, Wiang Kum Kam. They made necessities. Necessities, what on earth does that mean in its overall assumption that we understand? Necessities. They arrange necessities. So we've got a dead tree when he arrives, after he arrives, we've got a live tree which is really special, and now we've got this huge tree at Wat Chang Kam, which is in the centre of this temple. Now, if this is a 700-800-year-old tree, fantastic. If it's not a 700-800-year-old tree, then okay, it's a sapling of it. So many of the Bodhi trees here in Chiang Mai in the north must have come from Sri Lanka. Isn't that a fantastic piece of information? Well, if I just talked about the temples and just talked about the architecture and showed you the brickwork and that sort of thing, you wouldn't know that, would you? So I'm pleased to have explained that to you. The difficulty with making videos about this old historic stuff is you need plenty of B-roll, you need plenty of background stuff, and I have tried desperately to get decent stuff to show you. But unfortunately, when it comes to talking about the content of the books and showing you things in a book isn't going to actually light up the screen, is it? And trying to explain to you these beliefs and these things that were understood to have happened 700-800 years ago, is hard. It's really difficult to get that B-roll. Now, I've watched documentaries recently on YouTube, and there's one fascinating one called Fall of Civilizations, and I really recommend anybody having got this far through this video to check out the description below at the link that I'll leave there. This guy is doing some fantastic videos about falling civilizations throughout the world, and one of them he did of Burma. And it's so interesting, the detail he comes up with. Now, on the one hand, he's actually helped me understand that if you read something from a paper over the top of visuals, it can be quite boring, but the visuals actually pop out and help you hear and digest what you're listening to. The video is absolutely fantastic and well worth watching, so please check out that description. So thank you so much for staying with me on this video, but also for watching this video, others in the series. Check out the description below for all the information, and also please don't hesitate to subscribe and watch the other videos in this playlist. The playlist I'll also leave in the description below. So see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, I've come this morning to Wat Chang Kam out at Wiang Kum Kam, hopefully to reinvigorate my interest in telling the story, finishing the story. Fantastic bird noises you get here. Amazing. I wanted to start where I left off here at Wat Chang Kam in Wiang Kum Kam and talk to you about King Mengrai. But I'm not going to do that in this video. But if I can just recap on the last video I made. This is incredible. I can't even do this. The storm's getting worse. I don't believe this. I've come here today to do this video. Not only can't I stand out there, I can't sit here. There's something at work here, I've got a script here I actually wanted to talk to you about, and I can't read it because you can't hear me talking over the rain. Unbelievable. I'm going home. So hopefully you can appreciate I've got a lot off my chest. I've said a lot about this fantastic temple and explained a little bit about King Mengrai that I couldn't talk about this temple without including. I was making this. I'm going to get fed up with this bloody fly in a minute.